Hi, I'm the wine.
And hi everyone, I'm the rum.
And we're an expat couple who've been living in Ireland for 3 years. I'm from Austria.
And Barbados.
And we've been living here for 3 years, talking about our life on this channel. But we thought maybe it's time we do a video about how life has changed since this whole thing that's been going on.
Yes, the thing that shall not be mentioned, but we're going to mention it anyway. So yeah, since that entire thing started, those that follow us would realise that we haven't been making videos as much. That's mostly because we've had to kind of adjust to this new period in time. We're both working from home. I've been there for about a month. And Julia, how much was it again?
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. Yeah, she's always here, so I'm like, she's been here forever. I've lost track of time now. Yeah, so what we're going to do in this video, we're just going to talk about how it's been in our, isolation quarantine, whatever you need to call it, in Ireland, and how you can possibly cope with it throughout our experience. We're not medical doctors or anything like that. We just figured a lot of people are in the same boat. Let's share our knowledge with y'all guys.
So this video was also inspired by a subscriber asking us to do a video about how we are coping with self-isolation. So we thought there's already a lot of good general advice on how to cope with social distancing and still getting to have your social contacts and all of those things. What we thought we would do instead is talk about how we've integrated those tips into our new daily lives and new daily routines. So first of all, I want to talk about mental health. The reason I want to talk about it is because, sure, in Ireland, the Taoiseach in a lot of the speeches always mentions, watch out for your mental health. Watch out for your mental health. Like, he repeats that so many times. Meanwhile, looking at the news reports from other countries, cough, Austria, cough, it's not really talked about. So I thought it's really important to maybe also mention this because it is something that I find is quite difficult in this time. So I've heard from a lot of people saying that they're kind of frustrated, for example, with the whole new working from home job situation because employers are acting like everything's like normal, everything's still going on, they're planning projects and events that they don't quite know if they'll actually even happen, but they're supposed to act like everything's normal. And I feel it's important to acknowledge that this is not normal. Pandemics are, thank God, not a thing that's normal, that constantly happens. We are in a very strange, new, sometimes scary situation, and it's important to acknowledge that and acknowledge that it's also going to affect your mental health. And one thing that actually took me a bit to realize was that, sure, I had my ways of dealing with stress before and understanding how stress would influence me. But because of the whole situation and like whenever you look at the news, you feel a slight level of instant stress very easily. So you have this base layer of stress, but then maybe you have your normal work stress because there's new projects or new things happening. So you suddenly have twice the amount of stress. So just doing the one thing you were doing before to counter the stress isn't quite gonna cut it. At least not for me. In my experience, it's not been enough to just have the same stress relief routines. So I've had to also double up on those and try to prioritize those to make more time to also relieve that stress. So one of the first things I've been trying to do is being more aware of when I'm stressed. So it's actually something we try to remind each other of, is like, are we clenching our jaws? Because that is a physical stress reaction that some people have. Or are we clenching our shoulders? So we just try to remind each other during the day, and we realize, okay, no, I wasn't actually sitting straight. I was tensing my shoulders, to just be aware of if we are stressed. Another thing I realized is because if there's like a base layer of stress because of the general situation, what might happen is that something at work, at home, wherever, well, at home is where we constantly are, so.
Yeah, you're supposed to be at home, so.
Like, let's say like the laundry that hasn't been done and you're constantly aware of it because it's there and you're always there. So small things like that wouldn't bother you normally, but because you're already kind of low-key stressed, it can stress you more than it would usually, and it can be a lot harder to spot what is actually stressing you out, because it's not just the laundry, it's the underlying situation, and it's important to deal with that stress as well.
Of course, we are going to have stress. This is a crazy situation. Now, some of your usual stress release might be something as simple as go take a walk outside, go into the cinema, go into your favorite restaurant. Of course, we're supposed to be inside and those things are closed, so we can't do that anyway. So what can we do? Obviously, we do walk up and down the house, when you're at work and stuff like that. Usually do a bit more walking or, stopping at a desk, going to get some coffee or tea in some people's cases. So that's what we try and do. And also, when it's not during the work hours, you kind of might have realized the importance now of working out. Usually, we're walking to work, even if we're catching a bus, catching public transportation, going shopping, we do a lot more movement. So I realized that the days that I might do a little workout or something just to get the blood pumping, those are actually calmer days because, as you know, the wine said, you kind of, after a few days at home, you can realize that, pressure keeps ramping up a bit with the stress unless you have a way to relieve it. Besides that, you're home, you can start doing fun things. Like, one of the crazy things that, yes, I'm sure Julia loves that I've started doing is that when I'm on social media and when I'm not being attacked with, COVID-19 stuff, there's sometimes the cute things with animals, which I've started to create voiceovers for. So when there's an animal, it's like, oh, cool, time for a voiceover. And those are one of the small ways that, just being silly, fun things that you can do to help relieve some of that stress that you'd be feeling building up as you continue doing almost the same thing every day.
So another thing that we've been trying to do is to create a disconnect. The whole situation isn't exactly what you want to be thinking about before you go to sleep, otherwise you're gonna end up with nightmares like me about being stuck in a place where people aren't socially distancing and you're just in a room yelling at people at a conference to socially distance, and then you wake up in sweat. So to avoid that, we've been trying to establish some routines to disconnect. So we'll put away the phone because even if you're just talking to your friends, it's a topic that comes up quite often because it's a bit unavoidable at this point. So we just try to not look at the phone, immerse ourselves in something completely different. So I've started watching K-dramas.
And I've brought out the video games again, some JRPGs. RPGs, wonderful things to have hours of your time sunk in, and you'll be otherwise be, taking in some news that you don't exactly want to take in right now.
And one final thing that I've only really started, not exactly figuring out this week, but that was like kind of a big revelation to myself this week that I really need to work on, that is adjusting my expectations. It's especially in an atmosphere where a lot of people try to act like everything's normal, and I tend to have very high expectations of myself. I was like, oh yeah, I should be as productive as I usually am and be doing all these things. But realistically, with also needing to spend a lot of time on relieving the stress and just taking care of myself and sleeping a little bit extra to deal with all of this, I can't really apply the same expectations to myself as I would in a normal situation. So I also have had to adjust my expectations of myself and how productive I can be or the things I can do at a time. And I've been trying to really get better at the whole prioritization thing and just prioritize, which is really important, which right now is taking care of ourselves, of our mental health, of keeping healthy, like still doing workouts, over the other projects that we also want to work on.
So this has been a kind of a different sort of video. Of course, these aren't our own experiences here, but I know it's a little break from the Ireland stuff. We are working on some stuff, as we mentioned. We are working on the course. We don't have as much free time, but we have more free time. We still have our jobs and working, but we're working on it. Probably aiming for our early May release, so I'm gonna drop the link there. You can go and sign up. I fixed the contact form. The form wasn't actually working. My bad programmer. Sorry, but yeah. So we're working on that. If you want to sign up for a newsletter so you kind of know when it's ready, sure, do that. But also let us know about this video. Of course, we were gearing up for spring coming and going out and showing you more of Ireland, and that's not exactly happening. Yes, we're gonna obviously do more of our videos to help prepare you to come to Ireland. Obviously, a lot of people aren't thinking about doing it now. Some people's timelines have changed from I'm coming in 3 months to probably 6 or 9 months. But the thing is that prep is prep. The world's gonna probably changed, be different by then, but some of the same principles do apply. So we'll continue making those videos as well. But also let us know if you'd like to hear us talk a little bit more about some of the ways that we're dealing with, you know, this new state that we're in for the next, you know, month, 2. Hopefully not too much longer, because we want a summer. We've been waiting for summer in Ireland. Don't take it from us.
So yeah, if you would like to hear us talk about maybe what our daily routines are like with home office, how we do that, or what our thoughts are about changing our budgets and finances to adjust to the situation, or anything else, let us know in the comments.
And with that, we bid you adieu. And we'll see you next time. Bis später.
Bye!